Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I changed this Walima look into a Baraat look. So initially we started off with taking the lipstick off. I applied a little bit of foundation and then some powder using my beauty blender. So we were just changing this look. So if you see in my previous video, it was like a slightly purpley lilac-y look on the eyes, and then it was a Walima look, and then I changed it to this red Baraat look. Now when I do photo shoots, this is how I try and maximize what I can get out of my photo shoot. So sometimes this is what I have to do. So this is not a complete video, but if you want to see how I created the base, etc., I will link that video below in the description if I can, and also at the end of the video. So I've gone in and I'm using my Juvias Place palette, and I'm using the brown, and I'm just adding this on the outer and inner corners, but then I'm also blending it over the sparkly shadow that I already had there. So I'm just going to place it on again. I'm doing exactly what I actually did in the previous video, but I'm just using different colors here. So you could recreate this complete look just by watching the previous video as well, and you'll just know that it's literally just the colors that I've changed, and obviously the glitter that's going to be a lot heavier this time. So I'm placing the colors on with my small fluffy brush, inner and outer corners, and then when most of the product has come off, I've then blended it across. Now I'm going in with a slightly bigger fluffy brush, a touch of the same color, and I'm blending it all out now because I don't want any harsh lines. When I'm changing the looks like this, I'm always short on time, so I have to cut corners, and I thought this would be quite good for you guys to see how I do this. You know, I do a lot of this, especially when I have Indian brides and we have to change their look from the morning to the evening. So this is how I would do it. So I'm going in with this product. This is from MAC, and it's a Dazzle shadow, and it's in gold. So this is like a liquidy, glittery color. It comes on like a sponge tip. So I've used that to apply the product. Now what I've done is, if you notice, is I'm applying this directly onto the lid, and most of the color is actually on the center of the eye, and then again once the center's been done, then I go either side. But you still need to blend this out, because what I find is a lot of people don't blend out their colors once they've added their shimmer or their glitter, and I think that's so important to do. Now you can see this was a wet product, so I just used my little finger, and just around the edges I just tapped out the color just to, you know, blend it out a little bit more before it actually dries away. So obviously it is a wet product, so it was coming off, so I wiped it off from on the back of my hand, and then I did the second eye, and then I've just gone back in with the product just in the center of the eye now, just to reinforce the color. So this product is wet, so I'm not actually using any glitter glue. When I use a product like this, I find that I can just add on my glitter, and I only wanted more of a sparkle, nothing too strong here. So I'm going in with my glitter, and it's a gold glitter from Makeup Forever, and it's a gorgeous glitter. I absolutely love this. I have noted down the color, and you can see what I'm doing is I'm just using a small fluffy brush, which I actually use for the inner and outer corner eye color, and I've just tapped on a little bit of glitter. As I said, I didn't want too much. If I wanted to pack the glitter on, I would have used some glitter glue, and then I would have also used like a flat, dense brush to apply my glitter. That would have given me more payoff. So I've added the color on, and then what I'm going to do is obviously clean any fallout that I've had. Now I'm just using a big fluffy powder brush. You could use like one of the fan brushes that you get. Just make sure you take off the glitter from the eyelashes as well, because there's always fallout there, and that doesn't look good later on. Now once I've blended that out, I'm going in now and blending the socket areas again and the inner corner. So this was the very first color, and like I said, once you've applied your shimmer or any glitter, you have to go back in with some more color and blend it out from the edges, because it doesn't look right when you can see a makeup look and the glitter's just sitting on the eye and it's not blended. So here all I did is added some color in onto the outer and inner corners, and then just use another small brush with a touch of the same colour, and I'm blending all that out. This just makes sure that the eye looks lovely and blended. So next we went on to the lipstick. I was going for a very deep red. I don't really like the really light pillar box reds, to be honest with you, but it looks great on some people but not on everybody. But we went for a dark colour here, so I'm using the Maybelline liquid matte lipstick, the shade I've written down in the box below. And so what I did is I just used my lip brush and I've actually outlined the lips. I'm keeping it to the outer area. I have pretty much covered that bottom lip there, but I was actually going to go in with a lighter red. That's how I tend to do my lips. I go in with a slightly darker colour first, normally a darker lip liner, then the darker lipstick, and then a lighter shade in the middle, and I change the colour that way. Or sometimes I'll just blend the two on the back of my hand or on a palette and just apply it directly like that, depending on what colour I wanted. So I'm going in with the lighter colour now, and I'm just using a brush. This isn't actually a lip brush, but it's one that works for me. I really struggle with the proper lip brushes that you get. I just find that they're too narrow. This one is slightly square and it just works really well for me. Ever since I've been using this, it's actually made it easier for me to do lips, because I actually do really struggle with lips. Especially if you're doing a red lip, you've got to be really careful. And you do make mistakes, but if you make mistakes you can clean it up a little bit by using some concealer. Now what I did is here I'm going to show you how to do that, but it's just a touch that I'm tidying up, but it's a good thing to do. So what you would do is you would wait for your lipstick to actually dry, because if your lipstick is actually wet, when you're going to clean around the edges, it's going to be really difficult and it's actually going to drag the colour around. So once your lip is dry, I've just used the Kryolan paint stick here, but any concealer normally, and very lightly I will go around the lip where I need to, or around the whole lip if you really want to emphasize the lip. But I find sometimes it doesn't actually blend out. You can't blend it out that well, and sometimes you can see it and it looks a bit patchy, so I try to be careful here. So I'm going in with the dark colour now. This is the dark colour that we applied at the top of the eyes, and I'm going in underneath now, a small fluffy brush, and I just wanted to emphasise the under eyes as well. So you could go deeper here if you wanted to. Like I said, I don't always do really heavy under eyes. It just depends really what I'm trying to achieve from the particular look, but my model was absolutely gorgeous, and I felt she had enough going on, so I didn't want to go too dark underneath. Otherwise I would have gone in with a darker shade first and blended it out with this particular colour. So now I'm just using my fluffy brush, which has got no product on it, and I was just blending out the under the eyeshadow and any particles that were on the face. What I like to do is use the MAC StudioFix powder, so that's what I'm using here, just again on a fluffy brush underneath the eyes. Now this actually comes in a range of colours, and I actually absolutely love using this, but it's one of those powders that I normally use right at the end when I want to freshen up the makeup. Even when if I've used other powders like the Laura Mercier and things like that, at the end this just gives you a really nice top up, and it's not cakey because I'm only applying it very lightly, just where I need it, and it just gives you that lift in the makeup. So I've hydrated the skin here using my iconic Prep and Glow, and then I'm just going to go into the highlighter because we've done everything. There's enough makeup on, there wasn't much more that I needed to do just to give it that slight freshness. Obviously because we've gone over with a bit more powder and things like that, I went in with the highlighter just to make sure it's popping. It's the same highlighter I used in the previous video as well, so I just carried on with the same products. So I just carried on applying the highlighter wherever I needed it. And pretty much this was the final makeup look now, and I've gone on to do the hair as well, so I'm going to show you how I did the hair. I did a very simple bridal bun, but it's so simple but so effective as well. There are so many variations to this, and I have got another video coming for you guys soon just to show you those variations as well, and neater version of what I'm actually doing today, because it was, you know, we were short on time, and again, like I said, I was cutting a few corners, and but the final look was fine. You know, my pictures were fine, my videos were fine, so that's what was important to me at the time. But if it was a real bride, I would have been taking a lot more time, obviously, and doing it properly. So we've gone on to the hair. I've parted the hair. Now it's ear to ear, but it's slightly behind. So I just want you to have a look where I've actually parted it, because we need quite a bit of the hair from the front to go to the back later on. So I just want you to see how much hair I've actually taken. So it's just behind the ears. And then I'm going to take this top section and just clip this out the way as well. And we're going to use that for to cover the padding that we're going to add in a bit. And then the rest of the hair we're just going to grab up, neaten it up and pop it into a ponytail. So this is quite a simple hairstyle, but like I said, when you decorate it nicely, you know, it is a stunning hairstyle to have. And I just think brides look stunning when they've got this kind of simple bridal bun. I think it just lifts the whole look. Sometimes when you do the other elaborate looks, it can be a bit too much sometimes. So I do think this is a very, very pretty look. So I'm just going to tie this into a ponytail, and then we're going to clip it out the way, but we're going to clip it upwards. Don't clip it to the side, clip it upwards. So what I'm going to do now is use some padding. So this is the padding I use. This is the padding I think a lot of makeup artists will be using, and it's called Afro Kinky Bulk. I'm sure that's what it's actually called, and I normally just get this from you know, the Afro-Caribbean hair shops that do the hair pieces. You can get these. They're probably about £4 to £5 for a bunch of these, like one packet. It'll probably have, I don't know, about 8 pieces in it, I think. So what I'm doing is I've just folded it into half, and I've pinned it, but I've pinned it slightly off center. And then I'm going to add another piece to the left side of that as well. You need to use U-pins. You can use bobby pins to pin this down as well. Just make sure it's secure, because the last thing you want is this to then become loose and then your bun doesn't look right. But if you have a look at how I'm actually pinning it, you can see it in some of parts of the video. I'm using U-pins, and I grab a little bit of the padding, and then I turn my pin and take it into the hair underneath, and you can actually really feel that it's not moving and it's quite secure. And I normally check with my bride as well whether, you know, it feels secure as well, because if it feels loose to her, then I'll add in a few more pins. Now I've gone in with 2 pieces so far, and then I'm going to add my third piece. So you're keeping an eye on the shape here. Now those 2 I actually folded, and then I added them off center. So I folded this in half lengthways, but I'm taking it underneath now. Can you see? So I'm trying to show you how I'm holding it, and just wanted to show you guys. So it looks quite nice and round now, because this is obviously the base of your shape. So if this is not right, then your bun is not going to look right either. So just make sure you secure that in. Now I pulled it quite tight around the sides and really pin that in well. I'm then going to take that ponytail, and we're going to use this to cover the bun. Now you can do this really neatly. You can really take your time as well and make this look lovely. I did it as neat as possible, but it wasn't going to be a real bride, and I knew we were taking it literally down 10 minutes afterwards, and we were going to, you know, rush off to get home and things like that. So I didn't want to, you know, overpin it, and I didn't want to structure it too much either, and I didn't hairspray it too much. But what we're doing is I've taken a section horizontally, and I've back combed it. and I've kind of like spread it across, but I've still not pinned it yet. So I've only literally, I'm just spreading it, I'm getting it into the position that I want it to be. Then I'm going to take another section. Again, I'm going to back comb it lightly. You can use hairspray here, or you can use the texturizing powders that you have as well. You can use that as well. I'm just using hairspray here. So just a little bit of back combing. You don't need it too much. You want more of the back combing at the base, and then I go slightly higher, but it's not like a really big back comb there, it's just a small one. And again, I'm just spreading it across the bun and smoothing it out slightly. When I smooth it out, I don't smooth it out completely, because what we're going to do, as you just saw, I'm just having a look when I tie it up what it's going to look like. So your final section needs to be neater. So I wanted the ends obviously to stay where they are, so I've just put in 2 pins. I've just stuck that in straight in. So this is your final section. So you're just going to back comb this. So this one I don't back comb too much, and then I'm just going to smooth it down a little bit, and I'm just directing the hair where I want it as well. Now, because we've got the padding in, we don't need to back comb this too much and be too worried about the shape of the bun, because I've already got the shape there for me. So we're literally covering the bun now. So I'm going to smooth it down. Now, there's a few ways of doing this bit as well. But I thought I'd show you the easy way, which I find quite easy. And I grab all the hair, and then I get one of the small elastic bands, and I'll tie it there in a ponytail. Now what you could do is you can crisscross the ends. So I split it into 2, as I'm just trying to show you here, and I would split it and then pin it and then get rid of the extra hair, but I'll probably show you that in another video. So this is, you can just use a normal hairband if you like, if you haven't got one of the elastic ones, but the elastic ones are just smaller, so it's just easier to hide really. So I'm just tying that into a ponytail right at the end. So at this point I'm going to smooth over, because nothing's been fastened away properly or pinned away, so this is where I can pull out the hair and smooth it. You can use a bit of hair serum here if you wanted to as well, just to smooth down the hair really nicely. So now we obviously want to get rid of that ponytail that we've got hanging down. So what I've done is I actually took it to the left side, so you can't really see it, but I've literally just pinned it upwards into the bun, and then I've brought it round, and when I bring it around, I tuck the sides in under the bun, which you obviously can't see. I'm sorry, I got the angle a bit wrong, I should have done the other way, but I basically take it around and tuck it away. Now I was actually going to add like a flower garland on top, so I knew things were going to be covered up, so that's why I wasn't too fussed about the edges as such. So I'll show you in a minute anyway. So now we're taking that first top section, so that top section is where we're going to add more padding now. So now here, it's up to you how much padding you actually want to use. Some people don't even use padding, but I think the hairstyle goes quite flat then, because you've still got the butter that's going to be going on, and even though you don't want the butter to be too high in these kind of hairstyles, it's sitting on the head nicely, but I still think it needs something to hold on to. Now you could easily use a donut here as well. You could cut the donut in half and pin that, so some people might actually like doing that, but I like to use this padding. So you can see I've added one piece on, and then I'm adding a second one on top now, and I'm rolling it a little bit because it's quite wide, so you have to kind of like I'm just getting it into the position that I want it, and then I'm pinning it in. So I keep touching, keep trying to see, get a feel of whether I've got enough height, whether it's been pinned in properly, because again, your hair's going to go on top of this. We're not going to back comb it too much either, and that's the point of using this padding as well, because otherwise you would be back combing the hair quite a bit, and not a lot of people like that. So I think this is a nice way of doing it, so you're not back combing too much. So I've taken that whole section. Now I didn't back comb it too much, you can see I didn't. So depending on what you want to have at this point. You know, I could have backcombed it a lot more. I could have had a bit, you know, a really big bouffant here if I wanted to. But I was just going for something very small, very natural, nothing too heavy. So I've backcombed it, smoothed it down, and now I've got to pin this to the top of the bun now. So I've just twisted it a little bit, and I'm just going to pop in a pin to hold that, and then also I'm just using my fingers or use a comb to just bring down the hair, make sure that the hair has actually covered all your padding. In a lot of obviously pictures I see and things like that, sometimes you can see the padding, sometimes you just haven't got enough hair and you've tried your best, and you know there might be a little bit of padding, so that's why you're better to use a colour that matches your hair as well. And nothing like, you know, sometimes this padding comes in like a red colour, and I've used that before as well, but as long as you can cover that, it's fine. Now these ends that are sticking out, you can actually, there's a few things you can do with this. You could make it into a nice design, you could comb it down, smooth it out and add it into the bun, but like I said, I was rushing, so I just wanted to get it out of the way, to be honest with you. So I literally just pin it up in a few with a few bobby pins now right in the middle, because again I knew that it was going to get covered. So I'm just using some bobby pins here, or the U-pins, you can use those as well, they work really well. Now the pins that I use, actually I needed to show you, I was going to show you but I haven't got the box here, but they're from, I think it's called Hair Tools, but they are the best pins that I've used. I've been using them for years now, and I normally get them from a place called, I think it's Capital Hair and Beauty. You might be able to get them from Sally's as well, I'm not sure. Right, the digger, what I've done, this digger was actually really nice and long. You don't always have that, sometimes you have really diggers that don't have a long chain, so I am doing another video to show you actually how to apply all those. But what I did is I popped a U-pin in, and then I've adjusted it to where I wanted to, and then I've crossed it with 2 bobby pins, so that makes it secure. Now I've done that, you can see I've got a gap in the back hair, but that's the reason I left this hair out. So I'm taking a horizontal section here now, and I'm going to give this a slight backcomb. Now normally I would backcomb this a lot more, just especially from the middle section, because that's where you've got that gap and you want to cover this, but I knew that I was going to put a scarf on and things like that, so you know, again I was rushing a bit, so I think I do have a little bit of a gap showing later on, but normally you would actually make sure that there is no gap, so in the middle you just backcomb it properly. So I would actually backcomb the middle section separately first and then the sides, but this was a photo shoot and we were tired. I'd been working all day as well, and the position of the model where she was sat quite low for me, so by this time my back was aching, and if you do makeup you'll understand, I was just, you know, my back was just seizing up here now, and I just wanted to get this done. So I've backcombed it, smoothed it down and pinned it over the bun at the back. You can manipulate the hair a little bit like I'm trying to do there as well, and that normally works as well. Now the front section, again there are so many things you can do to the front, but this we were keeping quite simple, but I didn't want to take it just straight back like I was, so I'm just going to backcomb it a little bit, not too much, but just to give it some kind of lift at the front. You can take all this hair back, you can do a side parting here, there's just so many variations you can do. I have actually got another video coming where I will be showing a few of these bridal buns and also the different variations that you can do from the front. So you know, you could even braid it, you can have puffs at the front and things like that, and then after that, to be honest with you, you know, it's down to you, your own creativity. You could maybe come up with other ideas. So I'm just trying to inspire you guys and just let you know some things are quite simple, but they look a bit difficult, and sometimes if you just don't know how it's been done, you know, it can be very difficult. And if I can help anyone out and just maybe make things a little bit more clearer, because when I started this, there was no one, there was, you know, people were hiding products and hiding how they did everything, you know, because I've been doing this for about 16-17 years now. So with obviously YouTube and things like that, a lot of people are showing what they're doing, and it's lovely that everyone is sharing, you know, their knowledge. But still, it's quite difficult to do, and I think that's why I started these videos, is just to help out, especially people who are just starting out, you know, just to give them an idea of what you can do and how to do it. I hope these videos help, and I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I am getting a lot of positive feedback, so please do like and subscribe, and do let friends and family know as well of the videos. So you can see I've just pinned the hair back there. Also leave me comments as well and let me know of anything, you know, else you would like me to show you. Now these bits at the end, again, like I did the first bit, I'm just going to get rid of these because I'm putting a flower garland on. If I wasn't going to do that, then initially when the previous two bits that I had sticking out, I would have just pinned them up nicely as well and added this into it and created some kind of flower, you know, or some curls there or something like that. But I'm going to use a flower garland, and this kind of bun just looks amazing when you've got some kind of flower garland on or fresh flowers. I normally, if my bride, suddenly we decide that we want to do this, you know, I'm normally roaming around in a house trying to find some fresh flowers. But this is one I actually made at home for a previous photo shoot that I did quite a while back now. It was quite big, the petals are quite big, and it was a little bit big for what I was wanting here. It fit my other previous photo shoot well, but for this one, but this is all I had, so it's just something I had to work with. So I'm just pinning it in, and this is how you would pin in the other garlands as well, if you know your bride can actually get fresh flower garlands and things like that. There's a lot of pages on Instagram, you know, people doing the flower jewelry, which is absolutely amazing. But I'm just pinning this in. I've just pinned it in, and in some angles it looks a bit big, and some angles it looks okay. So, but I was happy with it. It looked really pretty, and the fact that you could see it when you were looking at her this way as well, I was happy with that. So, but I'm going to leave you to see the final look now. So I hope you like this, and I will hopefully see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.